Hello, everyone. I'm Maria, and I'm the admin of the Money Making Esthetician. And today we're joined with
Tony Picciano with NeurotriS.
And this is so exciting. So the other day we posted a picture of the magic of microcurrent, and everybody was like, this isn't even the same person. So there's a ton of questions. One was, is it legal in California? Two was like, how many treatments, how long, and all that good stuff. So we're finally bringing microcurrent into the group. So if you're ready, we're super excited to listen.
All right, well, I'll answer all these questions for everybody today too. And let me just give a little introduction here. I'm Tony with NeurotriS, and I am the CEO of NeurotriS, and we manufacture medical grade devices, and we make devices for aesthetic, facial, toning and tightening, and body sculpting inch loss. And that's what we do here in California. Everything's handmade. We are all FDA cleared devices, and our devices are approved by California and other state boards. I've actually flew to California, met with the state board to get our machines approved with them, or they're accepted with them. And I actually have a product description form that the estheticians would keep in their room so that they could properly describe the equipment, so that the board understands what you have based upon my discussions with them. Okay. So, and what I'm going to try to do here today is talk about how microcurrent can benefit in your business, how you can make money with microcurrent, and a little bit about what it does, and trying to give you some knowledge, background behind what electrotherapeutics can do, and how it can benefit you and your client. So, that's what we're here today for. And what I really believe in is that if you have knowledge and confidence, you could do anything. You could charge your prices, because that's what customers are looking for. They're looking for a confident practitioner that's knowledgeable. And that's what I've been doing this for so many years. And these are kind of the two main things that I found that makes practitioners successful. So anyway, here we are. So I'm not going to really try to throw up a bunch of PowerPoints and get too boring, because I really want to answer your questions instead of trying to be too techy. So, but what I do have here today, and on the table here, I do have some machines and equipment that I can kind of reference as I'm talking. So I think that's kind of the better, give you some visuals, which I think is going to work better for you. So is everything working okay, Maria? Can you hear me just fine?
I can hear you perfect.
All right, just making sure. It's kind of last night and this morning trying to get all this stuff to work, and I'm running with like 3 different cameras and lighting and backgrounds, and trying to get it all to work, and it seems like it is. So
no, it looks perfect.
So let me kind of give you the background a little bit, what electrotherapeutics and where it came from back in the day. Now, electrotherapeutics was, it's been around for a long time. And in the beginning of time, back in the 60s and 70s, it was mainly used for therapeutic purposes, for healing, pain control, and so forth, like the TENS units and so forth, right? But then later on down the road, there was something found about that electrotherapeutics at a very low level does happen to provide aesthetic benefits. So, and hence, since that discovery was found, a lot of different companies and manufacturers started popping up with what we call now microcurrent devices. I guess that name microcurrent came about with these type of devices because it was found that a very low level of electrical energy somehow stimulated collagen and elastin and some of the other things that that's important for facial rejuvenation or healing, for that matter. All right, so just kind of get back into it. Now, where did it come from? Who was the person that kind of discovered or came up with the fact that there was a benefit to this low level of energy? Well, back in the day, you're probably familiar with the chain study. I think that's the most popular study that's been around. changed his study back, I think it was in the 80s. And he found out that with the low level of current, that it would stimulate collagen and elastin. He came up with these numbers like 30% this and that, and this is what the study found. Well, he ended up saying, well, it was around 500 microamps or below 1,000 microamps is what the benefit range is for this. Anything over that, it had a tendency to not give these benefits, right? So, and everybody started popping up with these machines that are 500 microamps, right? Everybody started doing that. Well, I was the only one who read the fine print in the study. Nobody else did. Otherwise, they wouldn't be building the machines that way. The fine print said that don't use this study for your application because the end result will be different. Now, why is that? The reason for that is that the study was done in a petri dish with a cell. And they took a cell out of a living organism, I think it was a rat at the time, and put it in a petri dish, ran current through it, voila. We have now the study. What's the problem with the study? Does anyone answer that, Maria? What's the problem with that study?
I'm not sure.
It didn't include the skin. The skin is an impedance. So if you were to take a machine with 500 microamps and apply it to your skin to try to get the same result, it's not going to be the same. You're not delivering 500 microamps because the skin is impeding the current. So instead of devices that are labeled at a static level of 500, you put the probes on the skin, you're only delivering 50. You see, so that was a problem for me. So we had to come up with another method of delivering the current because the current, they were all underpowered. They weren't really delivering the right amount because everybody has also different skin types, right? So it would change with different types of skin. Like my skin is different than your skin, and I might require a different level. I might require a different signal to achieve a efficacy. To achieve efficacy with my skin, I'm going to need something more custom for me, as your client might need something more custom for them. So to say that 500 microamps is for everybody, it's really not the case. So we decided to come up with the next generation of systems called dynamic microcurrent. And with dynamic microcurrent, it's constantly reading your skin's values and impedance levels so that it can output the proper levels based on the skin type and density at the time of the treatment. You see how that works? Is that cool? Does anyone have any questions on that? You want to play that? Can we share the screen?
Yes, you can.
Share the video one, Lindsay. I have to have my the Lindsay here. She's doing the clicking on the computer for me, so I don't have to pay attention to that. Not that one. That one. Okay. Can you see this?
Mm-hmm.
Tony, I can't hear you or see anything, whatever you guys did.
You can't hear the video?
Now I can hear you when I unmuted me. Oh, hold on, but I don't see, I just see tabs, basically.
I can't hear.
I can see
Can
the
you see
screen.
the video?
You have to double click the video.
Okay.
Is it playing, Maria?
The video is not playing.
Oh shoot, start over. Why is it not playing?
I am screen sharing.
You're screen sharing, but I think you have to share the audio or double click on the, maybe you're sharing the wrong screen. What do you see on the screen?
I just see like the files.
Oh,
So
you
I
gotta click the
see,
video.
My
yeah,
apologies.
Here we go. Now we'll try it again. Sorry.
yeah,
Can you see
press
it
play.
now?
Press play. Yeah, perfect. Very cool.
I can't hear any of this.
Me neither. I just got the signal now. Now I started hearing. So I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, the video doesn't have sound, but so that's the microcurrent,
It doesn't
and then
have
you can
sound.
kind of see, you can see a simulation
You
like
have
on
to
the
click it
skin.
to play the sound. See? It's gotta be the sound. All right, pause it for a second. So you can't hear the sound?
No.
No.
All right, it's got to, there's gotta be a way, I think, on this thing to allow it the sound to play. Sorry, guys.
Oh, it's because it's on your microphone, not on a
Yes,
computer.
It's on the, you gotta play from the computer. Well, isn't there in the audio section? I don't want to spend a lot of time.
Also, if you email that to me, I'm more than happy to post it.
Yeah. I think I posted it in the beginning a while ago.
We can post it again.
Okay. There's a way to access the audio from the video to play through the PowerPoint or through the Zoom. Is it on the audio selection?
Select a speaker.
And you'll turn me off.
I would have to switch off of you to this one.
Is that it? Can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
But
That's the speaker.
I am saving this class, and I'm also sending out via newsletter.
Can you hear it now?
No.
You know what? Let's just get it. Let's not worry about it.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll spend all day on this. So go back to the. I don't know. Maybe connect it back to.
I can hear you perfect. So if you want
Okay.
to tell us a little bit about
Sorry
like
about that, guys. I do have it on the forum. It's that what I'm trying to show you with that video is. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
They can't hear me.
Yes, perfectly.
select a micro.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I knew that was going to happen.
Yes, we can hear you.
Tony,
Hello?
can you hear us?
Me.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Hello, hello.
We can
you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yes.
All right, we got to get back somehow to the way it was.
No, we can hear you. It's perfect.
I don't know. I'm trying to get this sound to come back on, guys.
We can hear you just fine.
No.
Can you not hear us? Okay.
I should have just left it.
No, we can hear you perfect.
Okay, they can hear me. All right, never
Yes.
mind. All right, so you just couldn't hear the video, right?
Yeah, just the video. We can hear you perfectly.
I don't know. We'll play with that another day, but
Yeah, no
I don't know
worries.
why that didn't work. Okay, well, I'll show these then.
I am so intrigued by those. I see those all over social media.
Well, what
So
happened?
I would love to know what are like the benefits of them, how
Oh.
many treatments, if someone wants to purchase, all the good questions.
Well, here are the four prongs. What the video is trying to show is that, each one of these prongs has its own signal generator that's separate from the other. So that means that it's not going to be impeded by the skin resistance or be impeded by the fact that the signal is being compromised because there's only one generator. So what happens is when you have 8 contact points on the skin, you're getting more surface area faster. And that's kind of how these probes work. You see?
Mm-hmm.
They'll end up plugging into the machine. And you can see here, the machine has an impedance meter, which during training, you learn how to use that meter so that you could see, the resistance as you're doing the treatment, just to make sure you're getting a good treatment. And we teach that during the training. So that's kind of the uniqueness versus
the old static microcurrent systems versus dynamic. Dynamic means that these probes are going to be outputting the right levels based upon the skin resistance. So, you know, it's very important because everyone has different skin types. That's why we need to have a device that can read that, right? That makes sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then you got different kinds of probes. The different probes do different things. It's like a plumber. You're going to pick the right tool for the trade, right? So, you know, it's important that if you're going to maybe do a lip plumping or an eye lift, you might want to use these type of probes. These might be easier to work with. And you just have to remember, the machine has to remember that because the surface area of the contact point of the metal is different with each probe, that formula has to be calculated in order to determine the right amount of current, right? So here's one of the biggest questions I get as, you know, as an engineer. What is your current level on your machine? Does ever anyone heard about that? What is the right level?
Yeah.
Does anyone have an answer to that question?
Doesn't it depend on the skin type?
Well, that's true, but it's never usually answered that way. The problem is a lot of the way that it's been found on the internet is that 500 microamps is optimal. So everyone is shopping for a 500 microamp machine, but they shouldn't be doing that. Why? Because we have different skin types, we have different applicators. Sometimes we might want to use the gloves. And the thing about the gloves is the whole surface of the glove is conductive. So what does that mean? That means you're going to need more current to cover the surface area to deliver the right amount of efficacious values to the cells. You see what I'm trying to say? So the machine has to have enough available power to fill this glove up so that it can deliver the right amount to the skin. And that's the difference between dynamic and static machines, where the dynamic machines are really thinking, they're acting within the environment of the skin to make sure that we are delivering the optimal amount. You see how that works? Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
I
Does it
think
make
this is
sense
better.
to everybody? I'm watching the chat.
Yeah, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer. So that's a big question. So what's the current level of our machine? We do not, here's my answer. We don't use microcurrent as a matrix to measure power because, like Maria said, it depends on the skin type. It depends on the probe. It depends on the signal. That's called power density measured in different values, and we also use coulombs. If I give you a number in coulombs, it's not going to make any sense to you. So we just tell people that our machines are dynamic and the values are constantly changing dynamically based on the skin type to deliver the perfect amount. That's the answer. Because, you know, other companies and other manufacturers might say, well, our machine's 500, or our machine is 600, our machine's 800. So you're shopping for a number. It's not going to help you. There's
So
no
how
way
do
to do
you
it.
shop? How do you get the right machine for yourself?
There's only one machine. There's two machines on the market. You shop for a machine that's dynamic. There are only two machines in this galaxy that makes dynamic machines. Right? I'm going to tell you the two machines. One company you can buy a dynamic machine from is Environ. Have you heard of Environ? The Environ skincare company?
No, I have not.
Environ is a skincare line, and they also have a machine. It's called the TrioWave. That's a dynamic machine. NeurotriS, our company, also makes dynamic machines. Okay, those are the only two dynamic machines that base their outputs based off of skin type density, the cross surface area of the probe or glove being used, and the type of signal that's being outputted. All that has to be calculated in a formula. So those are the only two machines that are using dynamic technology. So TrioWave makes, well, actually, we make the machine for TrioWave. So they contracted us to make a custom machine for their Environ skincare line. and we did it for them. So they have a machine brand called the Trio Wave.
Tony,
So
I'm familiar with that machine. I work with Environ, but this was maybe like 10, 15
Okay,
years
yeah.
ago. Is this a different machine or the one that was out 10 years ago?
It's not us, Lindsay. I think I heard it. Yes, so Environ had the DF machine that came from South Africa.
Exactly.
That's just a galvanic machine,
Ah, so
strictly for product penetration. So the problem with the DF machine, because of the FDA, the DF machine was not FDA approved or cleared, so it was not allowed in the United States. So Derma Concepts, which is the distributor of the Environ product line, came to us to build them an FDA cleared machine that will do their product penetration and do a couple other things. It's a custom machine built for them. They have a custom sonic probe that goes along with it that we don't have, that I built for them. So Environ is a great product line. There are many great product lines out there. I like the product line, Environ line, and and that's a great machine. If you buy it, you buy their machine and you have their product. Awesome for you. Okay. Does that help answer? Any other questions?
So it's a brand new esthetician who wants to incorporate microcurrent into her practice. How do you recommend she goes about it? So she would contact you and then you guys would do the training, what machine, that kind of stuff.
Did you hear that, Maria? It's kind of really muffled. I don't know why.
Did I hear what?
The audio is really muffled. Hard for me to hear you.
I was saying, if it's a brand new esthetician who wants to incorporate microcurrent into her treatment, what do you suggest are like the steps that she takes?
As a brand new esthetician, I can't hear it, Lindsay. It's really, the audio is really, I don't know if it's me or what.
I'll type it.
It's just really distorted. I don't want to hit buttons and make things happen and change. Well, wasn't that, it was all good. Was that Maria talking?
Yes, it is.
I don't know why it's so muffled. Can somebody else talk? Maybe it's my
Hi,
computer.
it's Natasha. Can you hear me? Hi,
It's
Tony.
really, hi.
Hi.
I'm gonna have to maybe reset my headset because it might be the Bluetooth.
Because I can
Lindsay.
hear Maria really well.
Let me try to reset this if I can. Darn it. It's just really muffled. Did it go off?
No, we can hear you.
We're gonna have to reconnect again.
Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear now. Just leave it that way.
Yeah,
Can you hear-
but yeah, perfect.
All right.
So my question was, obviously there's a lot of estheticians who are here who don't have any experience with microcurrent or NeurotriS. How do you recommend, like she's ready to get into the treatment room. Like, what do you recommend? Like, what is the machine she gets? What is a good, is there like a starter expert? Because my understanding of microcurrent is the more they come, you can take it up a notch every single time they come. And you don't want to go too strong because then it could fatigue the muscle.
Well, that's an old wise tale. That with galvanic current, then that's the problem. You're right. You can fatigue the muscle. But let's get out of the 1800s and let's go into this year. Okay.
I love that.
The fatiguing of the muscle. Where did that come from? Well, I'm not even sure where it came from. But with galvanic current or galvanic signal, it will cause a muscle to tighten and it won't release. So during the whole treatment, you're fatiguing it, right? So the galvanic it should be used limitedly in a very limited way, or we change this galvanic signal to be pulse galvanic, which is a brand new technology, because pulse galvanic will never fatigue the muscle at all. Okay, so Where are we going?
Nope, never mind me.
Okay, so with the problem with the fatiguing is the galvanic. So we changed the signals of our machine to be pulsed, to have a pulse bandwidth. The pulse bandwidth will send the signal to the tissues and the muscles, and then it will cause the muscle to react and then release at 200 milliseconds each. You don't really see it because it's happening very fast. So the muscles with the signals that we have that are biphasic or pulse galvanic or different types of energy bandwidths, they will aren't with the NeurotriS machine. You don't have a problem with fatigue, even if you use it every day at full power. Okay, so now we get the benefits of using the machine more just by changing the way we deliver the signal. That's how we get around that. Think about this. And this concept came from biology. I figured it out. Now, let's use an example. What is a muscle in your body that is constantly being used for 100 years? Your heart. Your heart will pump 6 liters of blood every minute. Forever. Forever. How does your heart not fatigue? How do we do that? Well, we didn't do it. Actually, our creator did it. He came up with a really neat method to get around fatigue. So what he did was he created a pulse bandwidth rest phase. I have the same pulse bandwidth rest phases in these machines that do what the heart does. So when your heart beats, all right, it's going to be pumping and then it relaxes. It pumps, it contracts and relaxes for 100 years. If you run a marathon, it's going to do what? It's going to pump faster and release faster. It's going to have it does the release phase or the rest phase is long enough to allow ATP to fuel the cells so that it never fatigues. The reason why it fatigues is because we don't allow the ATP to resupply to the cells. Hence, galvanic current causes that issue. That's why the machines are not just straight galvanic, they're pulse galvanic. You see how neat that is? Does that make sense?
Yes. So I guess another question is, an esthetician who's ready to incorporate microcurrent or is interested, what do you suggest? Like, what should she do? What are the steps that she takes if she's ready to incorporate microcurrent into her treatment room?
Well, microcurrent's really, I think, one of the most important things to incorporate. I think it should be the core of what every esthetician should do in the room. Because with microcurrent, that's really the only modality that's going to give you the quickest lift, the quickest result, a quick wrinkle refinement instantly with one treatment. And that's what your customers want to see. I mean, you could do all the peels and the masks and the microneedling. That happens over time. They're not going to get the quickest result, right? So the microcurrent's important. I think it's the core of what everybody should do in the room amongst everything else you guys do. I like all the treatments, really. I do a couple myself, a couple different things. But when they want to start with something, you know, we have something called a Pico Wave. It's like a $7,400. It's a professional machine. Because what we do, the Pico Wave is a great machine. It works excellent. I don't even get them back. But that machine doesn't have a lot of the features that, let's go back to the table. And here's the Pico Wave right here. This is our starter machine, great machine. It also has the dynamic technology. It just doesn't include the fork probes, right? It only includes the standard probes. All the machines come with the microcurrent LED sonic probe that we have here that plugs into the machines. So that all the machines come with that. You got that probe, you got the ANMA lift probe, which is really neat. That's a nice sculpting probe by Jane Mann. Jane Mann and NeurotriS went together to design this probe. Start with the Pico Wave, and you know we give full credit. We give full credit to upgrade what you paid for it towards any machine. So you're never going to lose out. right? You're never going to lose out. Start with one, and then once your business picks up and takes off, that's how I say, if you never really did microcurrent before, the Pico Wave's a great machine to start with, and it's going to give you some really good benefits, so I always recommend doing that.
So somebody asked, what are the contraindications of this machine?
We really don't have many on the face machines. It's more toward the body machines. I mean, we have what we call relative contraindications. We have relative contraindications. What I mean is, we say, well, if you have a client that's pregnant, and she asks, do I want to do it? Well, the only reason why we say, pregnancy is somewhat relatively contraindicated, because even though there are no studies that show that by doing microcurrent, it's going to affect the fetus, we just don't want to have someone, you're doing a treatment in the room, go into labor and say the microcurrent did it, right? So it's not really a contraindication, it's a relative. And also what's a relative contraindication is anyone who has any implanted medical devices like defibrillators, medical pumps, pacemakers, current can have a chance to affect that medical device. So we usually say if you have anything implanted, it's probably best to contact your doctor. What I always tell people, if it's a question, whatever the issue is, go back to your doctor to see if it's okay to get electrotherapeutic facial.
Jessica asked, which machine comes with the clips?
They all do.
They all do.
Get a clip.
And then Melissa asked, can estheticians in New Jersey do this?
Everybody could. We have thousands of machines sold all over this planet, all the way from South Africa to Singapore and in between. We have in all the states. I haven't had any problems of can I do this? You know what I found out? It's not necessarily the machine, it's how you depict what it's called. When someone buys an X product and puts it in their room, and they go in and they say they're doing this and they're doing that, how you describe it could be the problem. It's not the machine. So what we did was we came up with a product description form that every aesthetics board agrees with. So you pull the paper out, and if you have any questions, you say, here is my product description, bam, and it will be fine. And that's how we do it. Because you don't want 10,000 practitioners saying that they're all different in some way, right? You see where I'm getting with this? We all have to say it's the same thing. Is my audio coming out okay?
Yes, we hear you perfectly.
Okay. I don't know which speaker I'm using.
Like your computer.
We'll leave it.
Yes. I have a question. What about epilepsy for contraindication? Is that a no?
Relative contraindication, because generally we have no studies that shows that microcurrent will cause an epileptic reaction. Generally, epilepsy can be controlled with medications. If your client is controlled, then they should be fine. Again, it will be up to them. We don't have any studies, reports that microcurrent will cause an untoward effect, or at least our machine will cause an untoward effect towards epileptic patients. So I say you can either ask your physician if you could do it, or it's on you. This way you take the risk off of you and you put it back on them. I don't have any studies. All the studies we show that people that have epilepsy that did the treatment had no problems. So I can't say, generally the theme is epilepsy, microcurrent, it might trigger a reaction, but every machine's different. More so the TENS machines are more susceptible to causing reactions with epileptic patients. So this is really not a TENS unit, you see, but I always throw it back at them. Ask your doctor. I don't want to play physician,
And how would you incorporate this in a protocol? Like, would you cleanse, exfoliate, or is it like a standalone?
No, I think you should do other things. I'm going to tell you what I did, what I found out. So here's how you incorporate it. You have a client and they're going to tell you that I want you to take 40 years off my face. I want you to guarantee it. I won't come to you unless you guarantee me 40 years result. What are you going to say?
it's going to take a lot of treatments.
No, you're going to say, I absolutely can guarantee it without a doubt.
Love
No
it.
questions. But you're going to follow my game and you're going to do exactly what I say and when I say to do it. And if you don't do it, take the highway. Sally Steamer across the street will do it for you. I don't have the time for you. And you tell them that. You know why you say that? That's confidence. You know what I'm going to say if you told me that? Sign me up. That chick's confident. You see, so the protocol is this. You look at the canvas, you look at the face, you look at my face. And I need a lot of work. So you're going to tell me you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to get skincare, you need to take home care, and you're going to have to come in twice a week if you want the red carpet treatment. You see? So the protocol is with our machines, you do a series. It's not really meant for one treatment. You do a series of 6, 8, or 10.
6, 8 to
At
10.
the end of the
Okay.
series, if you met your goal, you could either go on a what is it called?
Maintenance.
A maintenance, or you do another series. So but incorporate other things. You girls do a lot of miracle work, man. I do the stuff myself because I found out what a lot of our common best practitioners are doing. So I said, girls, what's the best? What can I do at home? So they told me. So they said, get a Scion mask and put an enzyme mask, do the microcurrent, do a plasma pen, and then put Victoria Deanne skincare works really best with this protocol. So guess what I do? What I do twice a week. I started doing. I do that. I got a plasma pen. I got my microcurrent machines. I got Cyan, the Cyan mask. They told me that mask was good. So I got that stuff. I put it on. And then I also they said Victoria Deanne has the best peptides for this after treatment of what this protocol was. So come up with something, microneedling, whatever mask you use, whatever skincare line you use. You put it all together and make a package for them. That's what's going to make you guys unique, because you got to look at that canvas, that face. That face might need a lot of stuff done to it. So you got to put a lot of stuff. They got to take home care. They don't want to take your home care. Don't waste your time with them. Don't waste your time. Tell them, look, you want results? And then I'll guarantee you, if they do your game, they will get the results. And that's the picture of Pat I posted on this forum. That was Patricia's customer. That's 2 years worth of treatments. Because you know why? She committed to it. She committed to it twice a week, all the time for 2 years.
So
Yeah.
you suggest 6, 8, or 10 packages to start with. About how much would you recommend for like an add-on?
Price?
Correct.
I don't know. I think I'm worth a lot of money. And you know what? I think that you guys are worth a lot of money. I think what you guys do, is great stuff. Okay. I think it's better than what a surgeon can do. Honestly, that's what I've seen it. Okay. I've seen it. You're worth it. I don't know. I would charge a package of $3,000 for the series of 8. That's what we do.
That's
But-
reasonable.
Other stuff, okay? Incorporate a good cleanse, a good pee, a steam, a microneedle, whatever you girls do, whatever you got in your back bar or whatever they call it, charge it. Charge for it. And if you're going to do an hour service, charge for that versus a half-hour service. Give them different options. Oh, but you want to get off on the 30th floor, right? Oh, okay, well, that's going to cost you this. Oh, but you want to get off on the 5th floor. Well, we'll start with the 5th floor service then. And you see where I'm getting with it? You can give them any result they want based upon what they're willing to commit to you.
Their commitment.
Put that together for them. It's budget based upon what they're willing to give you in money. But once they're going to get hooked on it because they're going to see the results, and then they'll end up getting off on the 30th floor, you see? Start with something with them, but you can't guarantee the best of the best unless they're going to really, get off on the 30th floor, not the 5th floor.
Somebody asked,
I
No,
just
go
have
ahead.
a question. How long would you do the treatment for optimal results? 40 minutes, 30, an hour, 50?
The
The currents.
What the girls do with the microcurrent, it depends. I think a half hour is a good timeline for I do a half hour on myself. I've been doing it once a week now, but I got to get back in. I did it this morning, a treatment. I did the whole thing. I did the peel and the mask. I did the pen. It took me about an hour because I got to first put the mask on, let that sit for 10. But if you're just talking about the microcurrent side of it, half hour.
Okay. I've
And
been doing
then
40
whatever else
minutes.
you add might be longer. Right? That help you?
Yes.
Okay. I want to be as helpful as I can. I mean, I'm not an esthetician, but I've been doing this a long time and I know what everyone's doing, I know what works.
Someone said, can they use red light therapy alongside?
Oh,
Or is that too-
Absolutely. I forgot to mention that. Red light is a must. Our machine, okay, we have an LED probe, but it's really not a red light therapy, even though it has red light. The way this probe works is it gives you the red light to enhance the skin to make the microcurrent more effective. But it's not like your what do you call the panels like LightStem or Soluma. Use it. Absolutely, and charge for it. Charge for it. Red light's important. I should be doing it more. I don't have the panel here anymore. I have it we moved our LightStem panels to Florida Training Center. So I got to get some for here. But yeah, it's important. I believe red light for the whole body. If you can do, Liz Catello in New York, she's got the bed, the one you lay on. Good stuff. It's very helpful.
Jessica said XO8 masks are great with these machines too.
So we've tested with a few. I'm going to tell you the ones that I know work good. XO8. I have some here. I forgot to put on my XO8 this morning. I put on the Victoria Deanne peptide mask this morning, and I did that. So, but Victoria Deanne makes some really good stuff. The XO8, DMK, excellent. Environ, DNA. These are all the companies that we've worked with our machine that we know that if I were to list of all of we got thousands of practitioners all over. And I talked to them. I said, what product are you using? Here are the top ones. Those are the top ones that I know. And there's a lot of other ones. Circadia. I mean, the list goes on. There's really good stuff out there. You just pick a line that you're working with and go with it. Because if you're knowledgeable about that line, use it. Because you know it. You know the line. You know how it's going to work. So there's a lot of good. Yeah, there is. A mask, and our machine works good with the XO8 mask. They work good with Victoria Deanne. There's a couple of other ones. Stem cell. Yeah. And our alligator clips will clip onto it. And the machine has enough power, right? Dynamic to deliver the current to make the mask infuse the product. That's important. You have these machines that are underpowered. They can't penetrate through the impedance of that mask. The masks have very high impedance. So you need a machine that can blast through that impedance, and work. Okay. If it won't go through it, then it's worthless. It's like taking a truck, driving it to Big Bear today. No, driving your Volkswagen Bug to Big Bear today with 10 feet of snow. Are you gonna get through the snow? No, you're not. You're gonna need a big 4x4. So you see what I'm saying? These are the 4x4s. Lindsay's laughing.
Botox and fillers.
Botox and fillers, is that a question?
Yes.
Botox and fillers. Okay, well, I'm not against it, but here's the deal. The more of the stuff that these clients come to see you girls for, the best things that you do, they're going to need less and less Botox and fillers. Like, for example, if you got someone, that's getting 100, 200 units of Botox, well, they probably wouldn't need it if they were doing all this stuff with you. They probably would need only maybe 10 or 20. They won't need as much. Can you do it? Yes. Is it important? Yes. It's important to do the treatments post Botox and fillers because, you still need to exercise the skin and the tissues underneath because what is Botox and fillers are just masking symptoms. We want to get to the root of the problem, right? So what we say is don't do the treatments until 3 weeks have passed so allow the fillers and the Botox to settle so it doesn't move around. That helps. Any other
I
questions?
have a question,
Yeah.
Tony.
I love
So I have a client that doesn't want me to do currency on her forehead because she's basically relaxing her muscles on the forehead. So if she's stimulating them with currency, it kind of contradicts what she's trying to achieve. So I avoid, it's just one client, but it kind of makes sense. But explain to me what you think about it.
Relaxing the muscle?
Basically, Botox relaxes your muscle, but microcurrent stimulates the muscles to exercise. So if she's trying to relax her muscles, not to have lines, she thinks if I do microcurrent on her forehead, that it's going to take away from what she's trying to achieve.
No, because that's not true. Because you're stimulating the muscle. If she doesn't do anything, then what's going to happen is the muscles are going to atrophy and it's going to get worse. She's not going to be able to fill her face with enough Botox to make it good if she continues with that.
Okay.
So what I recommend is that, you're not moving your forehead to the point to cause the wrinkles. The microcurrent is actually going underneath the skin to the muscles to stimulate, to strengthen it so it doesn't atrophy without causing the wrinkles. The wrinkles are caused by you grimacing. You're not causing grimace with the machine. You see the difference? She doesn't realize that. So tell her this. Well, that's not true with this machine because you're not going to be grimacing with this machine, hence causing the wrinkles. The wrinkles are a result of smiles, grimacing, certain movements, but that you do with the muscles to create the emotion look, right? Well, the machine isn't doing that. It's not creating the emotions for you. It's strengthening the muscle. Does that help?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Where did I leave off? Oh, so, a couple of real things I wanted to mention too. And if anyone has more questions, I'll be happy to answer. What we do different is we always try to find the weakest link when you buy product. You don't want it to fail, right? Well, the weakest link in your product is the probes, right? So a lot of times you probably see from the cables would break from different companies, right? Oh, my cables on my probes broke. I got to buy new probes, right? Well, we kind of eliminated that problem with our machines. This is pretty neat because if you look at this probe, it swivels back here. So it doesn't going to be cause any twisting or cause any strain on the wire that cause it to be damaged, right? So you really can't damage this wire because it's kind of like a new, we call it tinsel wire. So it really gives a lot of strain stretching before it can be damaged. This is a high-tech cable. This is not wire that you buy at Radio Shack or Home Depot. This is medical grade, you see? So it's going to last really long. And the other cool thing is that if you did have Fifi chew the wire and bite through it, you can unplug it and replace it. If you need a new wire, plug a new one in, and off you go. We made them replaceable, so you don't have to return the probes for service. How do you like that? Isn't that cool?
That's super cool.
Very cool.
And we also did it with the fork probes too, where if for something, it's the same thing, the tinsel. If you had a bad wire, this will unscrew and you can unplug this wire, put a new one in. You never, because the very first series of probes is when they failed, you have to bring it to us to fix it or just buy a new pair. That was really horrible. We didn't want that because, wire can strain over time. I mean, whatever can happen from pulling it, right? It's just wire. So we eliminated that, and that's really important when you look at the product you're buying. That's super, super important. When you go to the treatment room and your probes are bad, guess what? You're out of business. You're out of business. We don't want that. So we kind of, we fixed that problem, right? So we came up with a lot of cool things too, like our connecting cables that we have that connect things. We actually invented this. This is called a banana lantern spring. And the old version machines, a lot of them use 2 millimeter pins. What we found was that the pins would be loose and not fit on a lot of different applicators. So, and it was causing intermittent connections. So we've actually invented this lantern spring right here, and it actually spring loaded, and it gives a really good connection. So it's pretty neat on the cables we did. So, yeah. So
Very cool. So just to recap, if someone wants to start off, they start off, what is the name of the smaller machine?
the people, you know, and I'm actually offering to this group
Oh my gosh,
$500 off.
that's amazing. Thank you.
On top of any sale price we have, if you're a member of this group.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And another thing too is we have a new version Pico toner coming out, which is going to be, what do we got here? Here it is. Really neat. And this new version Pico toner, you know, it works with the gloves, and it's a home unit. It's good to have. It works with the gloves, and you could add, you could even attach, it's got a connector. You could attach probes to it. You can even attach the Anma to it. So you got a lot of different features. In the new version 2.5, we've actually changed it, the signal, and even made it a little bit more powerful so that it works with all the other applicators we have. And it's going to be available next week. And you guys can get it on this group. It's $595. We have a coupon code. It's the Money Making Esthetician, TMME. No, the Money Making, is that what the group is? Yeah. TMME 20. That's the coupon code. And it gives you like 20% off.
Nice. If you want to send that to me, I'll post it along with
I'll text you later, and then you can let them know. So anyone from this group gets 20% off the Pico toner by just putting that coupon code in.
That's
And it's
amazing.
a new version. And if anyone has a version 2, the version 2 has, let me just show you this. The version 2 is dual ported. It has one port on one side and one port on the other, because this is a new version 2.5. If you have a version 2 that you bought, I will exchange it for you for the 2.5 at no charge. Okay, if you have a version 1, you're just gonna have to upgrade, because the version 1's been out for 15 years. So, but the version 2, now we have a 2.5, which is even more better. We'll upgrade it for free.
And how much should the retail for?
Retail for $595 is what we retail it for.
But
If you
for
want
us, if we're
wholesale-
going to make a profit selling them to our clients.
If you want to buy them wholesale, call Lindsay at our office.
Okay.
Come up with a wholesale package for you guys. We normally, either have to purchase quantity or be a NeurotriS owner to get the wholesale price. If you have a NeurotriS machine, you automatically buy it. You buy them at half price, which is $295. But we might be able to work something out. If you call the office, if you were going to look to resell them and you want to carry like 10 of them, maybe we can work something out for this group, this forum. Okay. Yep. But I didn't want to say all that. So is there any other questions? Are we still on?
Does this new product?
What is it? The small machine, like, it's like a timer. I believe it's another microcurrent machine, correct?
Which one?
The smaller one.
Yeah, it's a handheld. That one, this one here.
Personal home device.
It's a personal home device. It's not, it doesn't have all the fancy features that the professional machines have. It's a home unit. It also has a very similar technology, the dynamic. It uses a little different method. It's called constant signal maintaining. It's a little different than the dynamic, but it works very similar. But it's a home unit. It's meant to be something that people can take on trips, vacations, or use it in between your professional treatments to maintain the results. That's what this unit is. Yeah, I know some people use it in the professional room, but it's it's a small little battery operated system, so it's meant for, maintenance for home.
Totally.
It's a complete microcurrent unit, yes. And it's definitely more powerful than New Face, New Skin, or any of the other professional machines from other brand manufacturers for sure. But we sell it as a home unit.
Somebody asked, does the new product come with the handles or do they have to be purchased separately?
Our professional machines come with everything. Our professional machines come with all the probes, the gels, the sprays, ready to go. And it'll work in any country. It's ready to go. The handheld one, the personal home unit, only comes with the box at the price with only the gloves. So if you wanted to purchase the arm and the probes, that is extra with that little guy.
So somebody said, sorry if I missed it, but how much is the smaller one? Again,
The Pico Wave?
yeah.
The Pico Wave is $7,495. That's a professional machine. We have it on sale for the New York show. We just did the Skin Games, and that was $6,995. And then for this group, you get an additional $500 off.
Nice.
That you're, if you're a member of this group.
That's a great. I also love the idea of charging $3,000 for a full package.
We do because, you got to be thinking what these customers are. It depends on what they want and what their goals are. If they really want, depends on how far they want to go with it, and what they want you to do. Because we never just do just microcurrent alone. Like that customer that I posted on this forum, Pat, 70% of what she was doing was microcurrent, but, Patricia did microneedling. She's an RN. So she did a couple things on her, microneedling. She did a couple of other things, peels, and I can't remember some other things, but most of it was microcurrent.
No, microcurrent is a huge game changer for sure.
Yeah, we have a lot of customers on this forum, I think, that use microcurrent with it, and whatever you use, it's good to use microcurrent, and we just try to stay on top of the technologies and try to offer the best equipment, the best support. There's training. We got training modules that you log into. There's you get assigned a rep to that does a live virtual training with you. We have training centers. You can get hands-on. We got them all over the country. So we try to give support and a good product and a reliable product.
I would love to do maybe a live demo.
Yeah, we could arrange that. I can actually set these cameras up to be on a model in our treatment room.
Okay. Somebody said, is the training free? Is it included when they buy the machine?
It depends. Well, the training is. If you want hands-on, depending on where you're located, might be extra. If you're willing to come to one of our training centers, we can include it. But the training platform, which is a $1,500, if you don't own a machine, you log in, you can get the training platform includes 20 modules, and Melinda McHenry did a great job. There's videos, there's tests you got to take. It's very comprehensive. That is included. We also got other outside videos. We got a tips and trips forum with other videos. And then the online training, the live virtual training is free. The only time it may be a cost is if you want me to fly someone to your facility and actually do a hands-on for a day or two. That makes sense?
Yes, let me see. Do you offer payment plans with a discount rate?
Yes, we do. We have a company that does a great job with our financing. They offer great programs on the leases, and there's no prepayment penalties. We got some good rates. So what I would do is, if you're interested in financing, contact our office, talk to Lindsay, and she can send you it's a one-page application to get a pre-approval, and then see what kind of program we can offer you that's going to be the best for your business.
And then you could have the discount code.
Yeah, I should. Yeah, you can still get, all the stuff we're offering you. And For sure. We have different financing programs, so once we determine what we can get you qualified for, we can see what's going to be best for you.
Such a good machine. I've seen, because obviously I live in LA, so I see a ton of like celebrities and influencers, and everybody has that 3-prong machine. And I'm always like, before I was like a new SD, I was always asking like, oh my God, what is this? Where do you get it? And just seeing the results is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I like to use it myself, and I just started, getting really into it because you know how it is. The plumber doesn't get his pipes fixed. I'm the creator of this product, and I never really did much for myself, but I've noticed myself change over the last 10 years. I think my face is better now than it was 10 years ago. Honestly, I mean, I look at pictures from old stuff. I say, wow, did I look like that then? So I don't know. My face really changed a lot. So
Absolutely. Are there any more questions? If there's no more questions, we can wrap it up. I also think that we should totally do a live demo. So stay tuned in April, guys, because I really feel like seeing it in action is just it's so cool,
absolutely, we can arrange that, and I can have, Gina or any one of our trainers, do the demonstration. We'll have a model here that's easy. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tag you in the group. We could keep the conversation going in the group. We could also post the discount code, and this will be pinned to the top of the group and sent out via newsletter, which is the moneymakingsd.com. So everybody gets the replay 100 times. Perfect.
Yep, good. And I'll text you that coupon code. Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.